Again, thanks everybody for joining. My name is Carl Rogers. I'm a solutions engineer here with Area 1. Here today to talk about Phish, some current trends in 2019 used by the bad guys to take all of your company information, financial info, things like that, and use it for dubious means. So we'll go over today Phish in general, what's going on in 2019, and basically how to stop it using very contemporary web methods. So as we go through today's presentation, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to use the Q&A session at the bottom of this meeting. So go ahead and type out questions as they come across top of mind. And I'll be happy to also answer any questions at the end of this meeting by giving you my contact information, my email address, as well as some other ways to ask questions with some of our subject matter experts. But to get things going, let's talk about Phish. And what is it? Well, again, it's something that is designed by the bad guys to trick your employees, to share information with maybe people they shouldn't. So what that means is if you're receiving an email from somebody pretending to be your CEO or pretending to be Microsoft, asking you to click a link and log in with some credentials, or maybe give up some banking statements, things like that, that's basically what encapsulates Phish. And there are many different ways to name Phish. You'll see here on the screen some very contemporary methods like spear phishing, where maybe targets involve C-level executives, BEC, malvertising, snowshoeing. You've probably seen these words being used in the media. These attacks are becoming fairly common. And really what it comes down to is 95% of all data exfiltration begins with either an email that looks convincing when at first glance, or somebody sharing a link through you through social means, when in fact that was fed to them by an imposter. Now, I just recently came across this Phish with one of my customers, and it's kind of scary, right? Because this looks like an innocent looking Amazon email. So near the top right, you'll notice here that the email has all of the right workings. So it seems, with the example of a reply address showing Amazon.com, package about to come in. So if you're looking at this email relatively quickly, amongst all the other emails you had come in, let's say over the weekend, you might click on this order details button without thinking about it. Now, what I've highlighted on this screen is that order details button is leading to a fake website, and1for1.net, with the goal that if you go there, it's going to look like Amazon, it's going to ask for your credentials, and it's going to possibly lead to a loss of financial information for the employee or for the company themselves. So Amazon themselves, as you see at the bottom of the screen here, always mentions don't open any attachments or links from suspicious emails. If you're not expecting a package, don't click. And this is going to be a common theme that we'll come across as we talk about Phish moving forward here. I'm curious to hear what kind of Phish you've received at your organization. So if you happen to have any patterns that you've come across in the past while, feel free to put that into the Q&A session. We can definitely earmark a discussion later on near the end of this meeting. Now, phishing in 2019 comes in a variety of ways. So the most common method is through email still, which is a very cheap method for the phishers to send out their lures. What that means is they stand up fake looking websites, whether that's going to be Amazon, whether that's going to be Microsoft, DocuSign, and they're going to send out to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people across the globe, with the goal that 0.001%, let's say, of the recipients take action and make their payday. So about 75 to 85% of all attacks are email born, just because of the simplicity of standing up those messages and sending them out. But some phishers are getting more increasingly clever. So the second method of attack is through web injection. So imagine receiving a link from somebody who appears to be a colleague or friend through a company's Slack channel or through Facebook Messenger. You click on it and it asks you to enter in some information. We see that about 10 to 15% of the time, that is going to be a new frontier for phishers to gain access to information. Again, using the social construct. I know this person, so I'll be more than willing to give that information out. And rounding out the last contemporary method for Phish is network. So imagine that if you were, I don't know, earlier today at Starbucks on your laptop, a bad drive-by download was put onto your machine. By the time you get to the office later in the day, you could have this drive-by download running in your system memory, beginning to take Google Documents, Microsoft Office documents, and pushing them out to the bad guy silently. It is a very, very clever form of attack. It only happens a couple % of the time from what we've seen, but we think in 2019, this is going to become a very, very scary way for information to be sent out, and we expect that the precedence of this to increase as we go throughout the year. And companies of all sizes, from all walks of life, have really tried to stop Phish over the past few years, in fact, during this decade, using a number of methods. And things like secure email gateways have done a fantastic job at stopping spam. However, Phish is more clever than spam. It's not about clicking on a link to purchase a product. It's about tricking your employees into thinking that they're getting a Microsoft notification about their email account being shut down, maybe somebody pretending to be the CEO asking for banking information. Those types of emails usually make it through the anti-spam filters. So what happens next is some organizations decide to roll out education programs to get your employees to slow down, not click those links so instinctively. And there have been drastic improvements with an education facility in terms of getting employees not to click on links as fast, but we're all humans. If we're gonna have 50 emails in our inbox coming back and we're just plowing through things and we're under pressure to execute, it's gonna be that one moment of weakness where you share your username, password to the bad audiences, and that's going to cost your company tens of thousands, if not more dollars in some cases. Rounding things out, perimeter defenses. Many organizations have some commodity firewalls put into place. They have some rules set up to look for suspicious traffic. Problem is, in those situations, the signatures used to stop the bad traffic are reactive in nature, meaning somebody else in the world had to have been attacked before rules could be published to benefit others. My hope is that you won't be that organization that has to be attacked to benefit others. So with that, what we've thought about here with Area 1 security is instead of reactively stopping Phish and bad traffic, we want to be preemptive in nature. So why not have a solution that scours the internet and finds the phishing attacks before they even begin? In other words, let's look at the early stage of the kill chain and create a database of information where we can stop Phish effectively before it even reaches your employee's inbox. We're very comprehensive. So in addition to email, where most Phish originate, we also have ways to stop web-based attack with recursive DNS and with a network add-on as well that can couple with your firewall to stop those attacks preemptively. Let's say if you're at the office and there are requests for thousands of documents to go out to the world, we're not going to let that happen. And that's what rounds out our comprehensive package. And as Area 1, we are very accountable. So our results are focused on only charging you what we detect. So we are completely incentivized to consistently stay on top of contemporary phishing methods. Otherwise, we won't be able to gain additional funds to continue looking for more of the Phish across the globe. And we think that'll be a compelling story because with Area 1, our accountability method means we only charge $10 per malicious Phish detection. And to get things going, we want to make it as super easy as possible for this technology to work with your network infrastructure. So there's no upfront cost or time commitment. We can get in line as quick as 10 minutes through a call with one of our subject matter experts. And with our $10 per phish detection model, we do realize that in some situations there may be runaway attacks. So we have price protection, a predetermined cap. So based on your organization size, if you've reached a certain threshold, no problem. We'll continue to cover you throughout the year at no additional charge. So if there are any questions there about this groundbreaking price per phish model, again, feel free to put some questions down. We'll definitely touch on that at the later end of this presentation. But just wanted to divert your attention a little bit here and show how we can be accountable to you. As an Area 1 customer, we want to give you insights into phish that have been stopped that maybe you wouldn't have otherwise been unaware of. So with an Area 1 subscription, we want to have a very easy to use portal that show you all the metrics of the malicious phish that have come up and down the pike, how you can receive notifications, and also export reports for those C-level presentations that you may have to make from time to time. So here, head over to my browser, and sure enough, this is an Area 1 portal. And notice that when you log in, we want to be able to give you executive level information first and give you drill down capabilities later. So if you only have 4 to 5 minutes, let's say today, to take a look at phish attacks, let's make it simple for you. So on this dashboard, you'll be able to see a total number of phish attacks stopped in different time slices, whether it's the past month, week, or quarter. What kind of vectors we've been able to protect phishing attacks for you. And here we'll see that email is the leading cause of phish attacks, but you'll also see some drill down statistics for the web and network vectors. The resonating theme is the more you scroll down, the more details that you'll be able to read about organization threats. Well, also at the same time, we do realize that you might need to get into the weeds and take a look at individual attacks. So with that said, we also have in this report section the ability for you to have a graphical look at historical trends, how much malicious phish have been detected in the past while, how much suspicious, spoofs, etc. We have several different categories of phish. Again, we only charge for malicious. Other things like suspicious, spoof, we'll be able to capture for you at no additional charge. And with that, you'll also have the facilities to take a look at day-by-day breakdowns. So here on the 23rd of January, we've had about 2 malicious attacks stopped, 6 spoofs. And lastly, if you're kind of in an audit type of situation where you need to report to, let's say, your CISO or other C-level executive, some of the contemporary attacks, you have the ability to pull up reports. In this case, let's say malicious attacks in the past 30 days, and be able to take a look at, for each particular hit, who the sender was, who the recipient was, and most importantly, why we stopped the attack. We have a very robust engine that our machine learners can let you know all the bad things that happened in an individual phish attempt. And with that said, we'll go ahead and move over to some of the configuration options. Within Area 1, we do realize that you're not always going to be logged into this portal. So we do have special ways of notifying other key staff in your organization through methods that are common to your day-to-day correspondence. So you can have email notifications be sent out for every individual malicious phish. You can also have that information go out to a Slack channel if you happen to find email to be particularly noisy. And many of our enterprise customers are really excited to see that we can also push out all of these phish statistics near real time out to their SIEM. So things like Splunk, Sumo Logic, QRadar, we're able to integrate with that as well. Lastly, one thing that many of our customers also appreciate is the ability to see what's going on with phishing campaigns at the global level. So while it's important to see what kind of phishers are attacking your company, it's also important to see at the industry level who the bad guys are, get some profiles on what they've done in the past and what they're probably going to do in the future. So on this phishing campaigns page, you can take a look at a so-called, let's call it an FBI top 10 list of the most notorious phishers. So as you come here on this page, you'll see that the CN1 organization has been responsible for well over 50% of the high-profile attacks. You're always one click away from taking a look at who that particular organization is. In this case, it's a state-sponsored threat group from the People's Republic of China. As you scroll down, again, you always get more details behind Phish. In this case, you'll learn about how this organization's been around for about 9 years and how they happen to target organizations in the tradecraft and operation security space. All well said and done, but you may have some concerns about what's happening in your particular industry slice or vertical, if you will. So we also have the ability for you to take a look at the most notorious actors. Let's say if you were in the information space, you'll see, wow, a lion's share of events, about 41,000 phishing attacks have been coming in, and you can always click on any one of these organizations to learn a little bit more. So in this particular case, we can see a group based out of the Russian Federation. And again, you'll always be able to take a look at how long they've been around, what they're doing, what attacks they use to arm you with the intel, with some predictive analytics about what might be coming in the next weeks and months at your organization. So with that said, I know we've gone across a lot of information here. So what I'd like to do is turn things over to you. And first, thank you for joining us today. I'll now take a look at the Q&A session. If you have any last minute questions, please feel free to ask away. And I'll go ahead and begin